to Radiant Vlogs. I'm Denae. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm so glad that you stopped by. Radiant Vlogs is about making videos to encourage and challenge you to radiate the love of Christ in your community. And so I am going to talk today about learning about the topic of settling. More specifically, settling for things that you want right now instead of waiting for what God truly wants to bless you with and to give you. And the other day, my niece, she's 3 years old, her name's Jubilee, she was asking for a croissant. And so my sister was like, okay, you need to eat 3 pieces of turkey. I don't remember exactly what it was. 3 pieces of turkey or 3 carrots or something so that you can have a croissant. And then a few minutes later, you know, she's working on her food. A few minutes later, she says, oh, I'd like a cracker, because there were some crackers on the table. And my sister was like, okay, you can either have a cracker right now or you can have a croissant whenever you finish eating your 3 carrots. And my brother-in-law said, he was like, yep, sometimes you got to make a decision. You have a decision whether you want to settle for what you want right now or if you want to wait for what you really want later on. And that just hit me. Like, that's such a simple thing and such a easy illustration, I guess you could say. But like, as soon as he said it, I was like, wow. And let me give some backstory about why that hit me so hard. As you know, I just moved to Abilene a couple weeks ago, and I've been looking for a job since before I even got here. And it's been a process. It's been a little bit discouraging because I haven't been able to find anybody that would hire me. And I'm like, okay, at first my pride was like, who doesn't want to hire me? Like, I'm very organized, I'm very excellent, like I am a great worker, I'm a team player. Like, my pride was just like, if these people could only see me, like I just want to talk to them. Like, it's very hard to portray yourself accurately on a paper application. And I was just getting really frustrated and really discouraged because every time they would send me an email back, oh, say sorry, this position's been filled, or oh, sorry, we wouldn't have enough time to train you by the time you'd be moving, and da 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 da. And I'm like, in my mind, I really didn't want to work like food service or anything like that because I'm like, I've been there, done that. Like, I can do office work. I can learn, I can be trained in a specific field. Even if it's just like a simple receptionist, I'd be okay with that. But I was really believing for something full-time because otherwise I'm like, what am I gonna do with my time? Like, I don't have a lot of community here, and so a job seemed like the best thing, you know, or full-time position seemed like the best option. And so I was just really believing for that, and I started to get really, really discouraged. I had a couple of interviews and they weren't exactly what I had expected. I just came to the point where I was like, God, I'm very frustrated. I don't understand why nobody's hiring me. I don't understand why I'm not getting a job. Like, I wanted to rest and I wanted to enjoy these couple weeks that I've had off from not working. But instead, my mind has been so consumed with find a job, find a job, find a job. And I'm telling you guys, I applied at probably like 30 places and I've only heard back from maybe 5 or 6. So I could tell in those moments where I feel discouraged and put down and just like confused about life, I decided to seek the Lord in the midst of my confusion and my discouragement. And so I spent time with him. I was journaling for a little bit, and I just, like, he just reminded me of that time at the table when Aaron had told Jubilee, well, you have a choice. You can either settle for what you want right now, wait for what you truly want, and you can get that. And so I was like, okay, yes, that applies so perfectly to where I am. And the Lord just told me, it was so gentle, not very, like, it was correcting, but more convicting instead of condemning, because the Lord doesn't condemn us. And he said, you can either settle for what you want right now, as in like a job, like settle for some random job. Like, I even lowered my expectations, and I applied at like an ice cream shop, because I used to work at an ice cream shop, so I was like, I could do that, that'd be easy. So I really lowered my expectations and my standards for that. And he said, you can either settle for what you want right now, as in like a job and what you want right this moment because you want to start making money and you want to start paying for your wedding, or you can settle in Christ and settle in waiting for him and resting in who Jesus is, and I will bring you the right thing and my timing. And that was like, and it sounds so easy, like you'd think that that one moment would just be like, okay, God, yes, I'm settling, I'm never gonna think about a job, I'm gonna, you know, and it wasn't. It was hard. It's like a decision by decision by decision. And so the next day I decided to like not do any kind of job searching, any kind of applications, anything like that. I didn't go on Indeed.com. I didn't look at my emails. I didn't go to any other websites trying to find a job. I didn't go to the businesses in person and introduce myself. I just took a day off and I said, okay, Lord, I trust that you are providing the right job and the right environment for me to be a part of. And then later on that day, I think someone had called me and I was like, I don't know who this is, so I answered, and it was somebody from a business here in town, and she's like, well, we looked at your application and we'd like to schedule an interview or, you know, something like that. And I was like, well, I had applied for a different position with your company, and because of my temporary availability, they decided not to pursue hiring me in my employment. And she was like, well, we might be able to open up a temporary position for you. And I was like, well, that'd be great. And so I was like, yes, okay, it's still part-time, but I do have an interview for that position. No, not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Monday. I have an interview for that position on Tuesday afternoon, and so I'm just really believing that if this is where the Lord wants me, that the door will be opened. And so the main theme of this whole video is to encourage you that it's better to settle in Christ than to settle for something that you want right now. If you're in a, if you're single and you want to be married or you want to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, settle in Christ and he will bring you the right person in the right timing. I've had to learn a lot about not settling for things. And the Lord has really shown me his favor and his faithfulness and provision when I just trust in him and I depend on him. And so I just want to encourage you, if there's anything that you're really believing for and you're like, God, I can do it, don't feel so rushed to try and get it done on your own, because when God takes care of it, it is so much better than when we try to do it ourselves. When we're trying to make something happen or we're trying to make something come to pass. Today at church, I realized one of the worship leaders was talking in between songs or whatever, and he said that our job is to have faith that God is faithful to his promises. And I was like, okay. I love when God is just so plain and like simple in the way that he expresses things and the way that he teaches me things. And so when the guy was like, your job, like it was like that word was just bolded, because I'm like, I'm looking for a job. And he's like, your job is to have faith that God's gonna provide and God's gonna answer his promises. And I was like, okay, that's great. So I wrote that down real quick and I was like, I need to tell them that. Like, I need to express to them that your job is to have faith that God, who promised, is faithful to complete everything that he promised to you. It may not come in your timing. It may not happen as soon or in the manner or effect that you would like it to, but he who promised is faithful. Just stay strong, continue to trust in Jesus. Trust in Jesus, not in what he can give you. Trust in the person, not in what he can give you out of his hand. Our relationship with God is not some kind of vending machine relationship, but it's a relationship with Abba Father, and he wants to provide for you. He gladly provides for you, but it may not come in the way that you expect it to. But I assure you, there will be surprises in your relationship and your walk with God that you would not be expecting, but you're going to be so overwhelmed with joy and excitement because he who promised is faithful. I encourage you, stay strong. Don't settle for something, but rather settle in Christ and put your hope and your faith and rest in him. And he will see that this promise will come to pass. I love you guys. I hope that this video encouraged you. If you like these kind of videos, please leave a thumbs up and a comment down below with any video requests you might have. I'm really excited about making some more videos as we go. If you haven't seen my last video on how to get out of your comfort zone, I will link that in the description box below as well. But thank you guys so much. Thanks for coming to Radiant Vlogs. I love you. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button if you would like to be notified of when I upload some new videos. But you guys are awesome. I will see you in the next video. Have a great afternoon, evening, morning, whatever time you're watching this, and remember, choose to settle in Christ and put your faith in Him, because He who promised is faithful. I love you guys. Have a great week, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.